Welcome back to the Janique Unlimited channel. It's your girl Janique, and today I'll be showing you how I put this beautiful wall art piece together. So stay tuned.
What do you do when you want to do it all?
Get unlimited.
Janique Unlimited.
Okay, so here's a look at some of the items that I picked up from my local 99-cent store, Big Lots, and online at Amazon. These stencils I got off Amazon. I love them. You could pick any stencil you want, but these are the ones that I chose. And yes, some paint from my local Home Depot. These plates I got from the 99-cent store. They're rose gold and I love them. Some frames to match and a pool noodle as well. So let's get started. I will also leave a detailed list in the description box below so that you guys can go ahead and pick up these items for yourselves. Okay? Okay, so as you've seen, I got 8 of these 5x7 frames from my local Dollar Tree. And we're going to go ahead and take them out the wrapper and take the glass piece out of the middle so that we can actually decorate each piece according to the picture. Okay, as you saw, I did take the back off of the frame, the piece that holds the frame up. We don't need that piece. So now we're going to take our paintbrush and we're going to take our E6000 and we're going to spread it nice thick layer on top of this cardboard backing and then sprinkle it with our glass glitter to give it that shiny look. You could probably use any other glitter, but I chose this glitter because it's very reflected and very elegant looking. I ordered this Stampendous brand glitter, glass glitter off of Amazon. It comes in a 2-ounce bottle and it was for only $8.45 for the bottle. And you don't need much, even if it is just a little bottle, it goes a long ways. We're going to do this 8 times for each frame. So make sure to follow the directions on this one piece and just times 8. Once your frame backings have dried and have been put back into the frame, this is what it should look like. Very glittery and elegant. So yes, now we're going to set this to the side and we're going to get started on piece number 2. which are the plates that I picked up from the 99-cent store, and the size of them should be right here on the back. These are the larger 2 plate pieces that we're going to use in this piece. You can find these plates in the party section of your local 99-cent store. Yes, 99 cents. Even if you're just using them for a party, these plates are so beautiful and so elegant. They're sure to spruce up any party. Now we're going to take our painter's tape or scotch tape and just do the outlining of this plate inside as well, and leaving the gap that's in between alone. Now, as you can see, you want to get as close to the crease as possible on both sides. Now, as you can see, I did get the tape on the sides where we don't want to get the tape at. But our focus right now is going to be the top and bottom lines of this plate. So we're going to take our spray adhesive and we're going to go ahead and focus on those 2 areas first, making sure just to get it inside of that crease in there in the plate. Just make sure to shake it up so that way you don't get splatters everywhere. But you do want to make sure you get a good coat in the crease, so that way your glitter sticks really well. So we're going to now take some black glitter and we're going to take it and just pour it in that little area right there and spread it really nice and thick. I actually think this is Onyx glitter, not black glitter to be exact. But I picked it up at my local Walmart in the craft section. So yeah, just spread it along nice and thick. So as with the glass glitter, you want to make sure you save this glitter, the excess glitter that falls off. So put a piece of paper or anything underneath to catch it. That way you're able to put it right back in and reuse it. So as you see, I'm just tapping the plate ever so slightly to get the glitter to come off, the excess glitter, and this is what that's going to look like. Press it down a little bit to get it in there, make sure it's nice and stuck on. But that's going to be the top line or bottom line of the plate, and there you have it. So we're going to do the same thing to the other end. So now that we have those edges covered, we're going to go ahead and remove those pieces of tape to start on the opposite ends. You want to be sure not to put your fingerprints on the middle of the plate. It helps for cleanup later. But just nicely pull that tape off, and we're going to replace the other tape at the top ends on each side. Be sure not to press too hard on the sides that have glitter on them, just in the middle. And repeat this step for the other end as well. So now that we're done, we're going to remove all pieces of tape, remembering not to put our fingerprints on the middle. I would recommend not pressing the tape down so hard, because as you can see, I got a little mess. But if you do get this to happen, just take a piece of the tape and roll it over where the sticky pieces are to pick them up on the tape. And whatever's left over, you can clean up towards the end once everything's put together. And yes, be sure to save this glitter, honey. It is too pretty to waste. So we're going to put this back into the bottle, and we're going to move on to the next step. Now I got these self-adhesive mirror pieces off of Amazon. They come in a pack of 12, 6 by 6 pieces and 6 by 9 pieces. So we're going to use the 6 by 9 pieces for this work of art. And here's the self-adhesive backing, and well, the front, and there's a piece on the back where you're able to stick it on. Now these are very sticky, so once they're in place, they're pretty much there, okay? So we're going to go ahead and take the front piece off of the mirror, and we're going to go ahead and place our stencil, whatever stencil you choose. I got these off of Amazon, like I said. They were only $9. The size is 6 by 6, and they are washable and reusable. So you can definitely keep these for any other art projects that you might have in mind. So we're just going to go ahead and cover up the spaces that aren't going to be sprayed. And I'm using a stone Rust-OLeum spray paint from Home Depot. Now this part I would definitely recommend using tape on either sides to keep that paper from moving, because as you can see, it kind of splattered a little bit. But for the most part, just make sure you keep those ends that were not spray painting covered, because this will stick to it. And we're going to go ahead and get a nice coat in over the design. And you don't want this to dry before you lift it up. So once you've placed your layer on there, you're going to go ahead and lift up the stencil to reveal your design. And then you'll allow it to dry. Once it's dried, it should look something like this, depending on what stencil you used. But as you can see, the art is stuck on there and it's nice and dry and ready to be placed on the plate. Once you've got it centered to your liking and you've taken off the back adhesive, go ahead and place it down. And remember, like I said, once these are on, they're pretty much on. So press on down, make sure it's centered, and voila, there you go. Make sure each side has a little gap on it so it's centered nice and right, and that you've pressed it down right. So now what I've done is I've gotten some nice little jewel stickers from my local craft section in the Walmart. So I'm going to go ahead and place those in between the gaps. I've also taken some hot glue to make sure that these stick on long term versus, coming off later. But go ahead and measure them out to however many you may need across and get those put on there just to add an extra trim to this plate. So here we have the third piece, and yes, we're going to do this design twice. So you should have two of these plates. Here's the size. It's a 3-section tray picked up from my 99-cent store in the party section. So because we're only going to decorate the middle section with glitter, we're only going to tape the same way we did the other plates, only in the middle section though. On all 4 sides, we're going to get the tape. Now that we're all taped up, we're going to go ahead and start our spray adhesive and our glitter. Once the tape's removed, this is what it should look like. Nice and pretty and shiny. And so we're going to now decorate each side of the glitter. I picked up this sheet of tiles from my local Lowe's, and I just thought it was really pretty. Here goes the number to the design. I'll also leave it in the description below. And yes, so we're going to cut out some of these pieces and fit them to the sides. As you can see, I already started cutting them, so we're going to go 3 up and 4 across, and that should fit. Once you've cut the tiles, you're going to notice that there's some little pieces sticking up on all the sides. We're going to cut that down. You don't want that. You're going to get it as close as possible to the pieces of tile without those pieces sticking out. Otherwise, it will not fit in the plate. Now we're going to take a generous amount of E6000 and get these stuck in place on each side of this plate. Now that we have each tile piece on each side nice and stuck, we're going to let that dry. So we're going to set these aside, and remember, you're going to do it twice. So now the fourth piece done twice is going to be the opposite way. We're going to have the tile in the middle, and then we're going to have 2 picture frames glued onto the sides. So we're going to do this design twice. You want to make sure that each frame is facing the right direction, which is facing down. And you want to make sure you get a good amount of glue on each edge so that it will adhere to the plate. The middle part of the frame probably won't touch the plate, but the edges definitely will. And there you have it. Press it down, make sure it's nice and in place. Let it dry. You're going to do it 2 times, and we're on to the next piece. Okay, so I got these cups also in the party section of the 99-cent store. The trimming matches the plates perfectly. So I decided to use these as lighting towards this piece. We'll be decorating 6 cups, all the same. So let's get started. Here we have one of the cups already halfway done. I've spray painted black in the inside. You're going to want to do more than 1 coat, of course, and you're going to want to keep the outside clean. We're going to tape the edge to cover that nice pretty trim with some tape, and then we're going to spray paint the cup with adhesive and dip it in glitter. Okay, here you see me spreading the glitter over the adhesive on the outside of the cup and dipping the bottom as well. This cup is just for example. I've already done the other ones, but just to give you a show of how to do it, you're going to fully cover it all the way around, and when you're done, it should look something like this. That's after the tape has been removed and you've spread the glitter all the way around it. Now we're going to cut a hole at the bottom, and I'm going to show you how to do that in just a second. As you've seen, I used a hot knife, heating it over the stove to cut the end of the cup because they're very hard and sturdy. You don't want to crack them. And that's how you get that nice square cut. You want to make sure you cut it big enough for the lights to fit. Now we're going to take some more of that trimming that we have from Walmart, the diamond trimming, and we're going to go ahead and trim around the cup with it to cover up any inconsistencies of the glitter along that pretty trim, and also to decorate it a little fancier. Now here's the 6th piece, and we're going to spray paint it with a metallic finish, Rust-OLeum, and we're going to coat that several times and let it dry. Once it's dried, it should look like this. Now we're going to go ahead and cut a straight line. As you can see, I've already started, but you're going to follow that line and go all the way through the noodle, so that way we can fit our lights in the middle of this pool noodle. I noticed here that some of the spray kind of started to come off of the noodle, so I would advise you to spray it either before or even after another coat. You're going to want to make sure that the cut went all the way through, so you're going to open it up. And like I said, if the spray paint comes off, just go ahead and respray it. Don't worry about the side. I laid it down on the ground, so that side's going to be facing up with no problem. Now we're going to go ahead and fit our string of lights through, making sure we space them accordingly so that they're all nice and evenly spaced. Just continue to tuck in the wires, making sure to leave the clusters of lights out. If any of the paint comes off on your fingers, don't worry about it. We'll fix it later. It's an easy fix. Once everything's been put together, it should look something like this. All the lights are spaced out. Try to get them as even as possible and get the clusters tucked into the cups from the holes in which we made. Now we're going to go ahead and take our hot glue gun and we're going to glue the top of each cup to the noodle to seal them in and connect them to the noodle piece. going to take the poster board that I also got from the 99-cent store, the thicker poster board, foam board, and we're going to arrange our plates in the design in which we want. One thing I will say is that I would recommend spray painting the board either black or another color other than white, so that way it gives it a more designer look. Now you're going to want to make sure everything is aligned up the way that you want it, and piece by piece we're going to start gluing it down onto the board. Starting with the middle pieces, we're going to spray paint it and then also add some E6000 to get it stuck on this board. Make sure that you're working your way from the middle piece to the outer pieces, because they will overlap and it makes it a lot easier for measuring. Once the middle piece is laid down, you have just enough room to go ahead and lay that side piece in. That's why we start with the middle first. And the outside one will overlap the inside piece. You're going to want to make sure you put a lot of pressure on these ones so that they can stick and allow them to dry. But we're going to go ahead and do the other side the same exact way. Once everything's in place and glued down, it should look just like this, like absolutely gorgeous, sparkling and elegant. And now it's time to find a place to hang it on the wall. Now I use small hanging nails to hang the lighting piece up. As you can see, there's one nail here, and there's also another nail right in the middle to give it some more support, and another on the other end. For extra security, I also use this double-sided tape that I picked up at Home Depot, and I stuck it along the back side of the lighting, so that way it can also adhere to the wall and give it more support. Now it's time to hang the other piece, but first let's make sure that the lights are working and everything is good. You're going to want to make sure that all the lights are tucked into the cups and not hanging out like this one right here. So if anything's hanging out, you're going to want to go ahead and tuck it in and fix it. These lights are very flexible, so they will tuck in easily. Now, because I didn't want to put too many holes in the walls, I decided to use these Command sticky strips, and I've already put them on so they're not in the package. But here goes the packaging, in which they're 4 pounds. They hold 4 pounds, and they're great. They will hold, if you follow the directions on the back, they will hold up very well. Yes, here's a final look at the piece put up on the wall. I also got a little sticker off of Amazon to add next to it to give it a little pizzazz. But yes, this wall is completely changed just by this one little piece. I love it, and it just lights up the place. After seeing this on the wall, I plan on doing some scones to match. So I'm going to replace these old scones with some new scones to match this piece. And I mean, I just love it, absolutely love it. And yes, I do want to put maybe some decorative pieces on the end of that noodle, but that will be in the next video along with the scones. Thank you so much for tuning in, and I really appreciate it. Janique Unlimited, if you don't know and you haven't already done so, get unlimited. Hit that like button and that subscribe, and stay tuned.